And good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. I'm your host, Casey Hendrickson. Can you just cue my audio, please? We're gonna be playing a lot of clips here. Had some listeners send me some recommendations today that I should play as much of the Lindsey Graham opening statement as I possibly can. And I didn't get to it until later in the day, but to say that he was in rare form would be an understatement. Now, I get a lot of you are frustrated with Lindsey Graham because he's talking a big game, but he hasn't really done much. But now that things are on the Senate side of things, at least partially, when it comes to the Horowitz stuff, because he was interviewing, not interviewing, but he was chatting with Horowitz today at the Judiciary Committee. So it's been very interesting. I want to go and play for you the intro of Lindsey Graham. I'm not going to play the entire thing because Lindsey Graham spoke for over 40 minutes, which he doesn't do. So I wanted to go and just play the intro here just so you can kind of hear how it started. We'll play various other clips that are relevant, but just understand that there is a ton more meat in this entire 40 minutes that Lindsey Graham spoke in his opening statement. There's a lot there. We'll play you some pertinent points, not the entire thing, obviously, but when you look for it later, maybe listen to the entire 40 minutes. You know, whether you're doing something on your computer or something, just have it playing in the background so you can kind of listen to it, because he really does have a lot of very interesting things to say. And this is, again, one of those things that people just, there's so much about it that's out there that we've forgotten a lot, right? So rehashing this stuff the way that he has rehashed it, I think, are really, really good. So anyway, this is Lindsey Graham's opening statement. This is just under 2 minutes where he just starts things off, and he talks about Crossfire Hurricane.
I bet I haven't made 20 minutes of opening statements in a year, but I'm going to take a little bit longer to try to lay out what I think is before us as a nation. Crossfire Hurricane was probably the best name ever given to an investigation in the history of investigations, because I think that's what we wound up with, a crossfire and a hurricane. There's been a lot of media reports about your report before it was issued. And I remember reading all these headlines, lawful investigation with a few irregularities. Everything okay, low-level people kind of got off track. If that's what you get out of this report, you clearly didn't read it. If that's your takeaway, that this thing was lawfully predicated, and that's the main point, you missed the entire report. How do you get a headline like that? That's what you want it to be. You want it to be that and nothing more. And I can assure you, if this had been a Democratic president going through what President Trump had gone through, that would not have been the headline. The headline would be, the FBI takes law into its own hands. Biased agents cut corners, lie to court, ignore exoneration. So the first thing I want you to know is how the cake is baked here. And my goal is to make sure that people, when this is over, whether you like Trump, hate Trump, don't care about Trump, you look at this as more than a few irregularities.
And again, it's not irregularities, as we have been able to point out with documents and everything else that have been made public. It's clearly not irregularities. You had, as a summary, and somebody said, you know, we kind of checked out of this. Give me like a basic summary. As a basic summary, okay, basically, the FBI was at one point in time notified that there may be an issue with the Russians trying to mess with the election through the Trump campaign. They looked at it. They found no evidence whatsoever, okay? They tried to get a FISA warrant, were denied. They went ahead and found exculpatory evidence. And so what they did after they got denied that original FISA warrant is they went back and they said, let's do this Steele dossier thing. Let's go ahead and look at the Steele dossier, and then we can do that. So instead of it being an investigation where somebody makes an accusation and the authorities look into it, nothing comes of it. They just back off and say, all right, there's nothing there. Come back when you have more evidence. Instead of doing that, the FBI persisted in trying to gather evidence. But they used the dossier, which they had already known was not credible. And then they lied to the courts about the dossier. They lied to the courts about witnesses in the dossier that they said they deemed credible. What they didn't tell the court was that those witnesses they deemed credible had said that what we told Christopher Steele, none of what was in the Steele dossier, none of that was accurate. We didn't tell him that at all. So the witnesses that Steele cited said that Steele was lying in the dossier about what they said. And so the FBI believes that they were telling the truth, that Steele was lying, but they didn't tell the court that. So what they did is they used wordplay to give themselves plausible deniability. They went back to the FISA court and they said that they found the witnesses to be credible. What they didn't tell the court was that the witnesses said the dossier was complete crap. And so they continued to manufacture evidence. That's the whole Yahoo News article and everything else. They continued to manufacture evidence to appease the court standards to get those FISA warrants. So that's what they continue to do. That's the main problem here. So then you've got James Comey, who, by the way, yesterday, James Comey went out last night and said that they canceled an appearance on Fox and Friends with him because they probably read Horowitz's report. So he was scheduled to be on at 8. They canceled it and everything else. Fox came back and said not only was he not scheduled to come on, not only did we not cancel him, but he wasn't scheduled to even come on. So isn't that interesting? And then Brett Baer, Martha McCollum, several other Fox hosts said, you can come on our show. If there was some miscommunication on Fox and Friends, that's fine, but you can come on our show. Guess what he didn't do? He didn't go on any of their shows. Brett Baer, the last thing you're going to accuse Brett Baer of is being friendly to President Trump. He's not. But Brett Baer is a pretty fair and honest guy. So this is another aspect of it. So you got James Comey going out there and telling everybody that, once again, he's been vindicated with the Horowitz report. Quick reminder, since nobody else in the media nationally or internationally reminds you of this, we have declassified documents from the FISA court where they were admonishing the FBI under James Comey's leadership. Do you remember what for? Joe, remember? Routinely and systematically violating the civil rights of American citizens by illegally surveilling them. They found hundreds of examples of it. They assumed there were thousands more, and that was under James Comey's leadership. Now, at the time, James Comey had been out, okay? He's gone. And his replacement, I don't remember if it was McCabe or Wray. I don't remember which one was in that room. I'd have to pull up the information. But they promised the court that they would never do it again. That all of the stuff that happened under James Comey, who apparently gets sexually excited about running around and illegally wiretapping American citizens. That's what he did on a routine basis. So the idea that James Comey would never do it to a presidential candidate he didn't like is preposterous because he did it to everybody. So you've got his replacement out there promising the court they'll never do it again. And what did we find out a month or two ago? They continued doing it thousands of more times after James Comey left, okay? And the reason that I provide that context is you have to understand there is a culture in FBI leadership now that has been in place since at least Comey, probably going back to Mueller, because Mueller was a terrible director, that they will illegally surveil Americans. They will spy on Americans. They will lie to the FISA courts routinely in order to conduct whatever operation they feel they need to do. Now, that is just the culture under James Comey, probably going back to his friend Mueller. But Graham asked a question of Horowitz. He said, James Comey is out there telling everybody that your report vindicates him. Does it vindicate him? I think it's a great question. It's only 16 seconds. Here we go.
Former FBI Director James Comey said this week that your report vindicates him. Is that a fair assessment of your report?
I think the activities we found here don't vindicate anybody who touched this.
Okay. Let's run a former.
So basically what Horowitz is saying, nobody in the FBI who touched this, nobody in the DOJ who touched this, none of them were vindicated. None of them. So James Comey got smacked down again. Mr. Ethical, right? But it's important. I'm literally the only person in the country that I know of that has told you about this, that James Comey was admonished by the FISA court. The FBI under his leadership was admonished by the FISA court for routinely abusing the FISA court to illegally spy on American citizens. routinely, not just political candidates, not just politicians, but routinely violating the rights of everyday Americans for various reasons. And we're going to get into this a little bit more because Graham basically scorched the earth today. We'll talk about all of this. And, of course, you want to react to it. 574-2595, 95.3. That is 2595-953. We'll take your calls on it as well. We've got more coming up on 95.3 MNC.
On your radio at 95.3 FM. Online at 95.3MNC.com. And on your smart speaker when you're enabled in 95.3
All right, let me pull up that whole spice thing. Oh, God, that felt good. Jeebus.
Your breaking news and weather station.
Weather served up by the Prime Table in Niles. 26 years.
Sorry, folks. I got in a little bit late, and I had a couple of meetings, and I just got a little behind. So I've got to set stuff up the way that I like it being set up. I'm told it's immature to write on people's social media when they stay logged in. I think somebody said, like, that's so 1990s or some crap the other day. Don't stay logged in.
For your Thursday, finally some improvement with, once again, partly cloudy skies turning mostly cloudy. For Friday, a high near 40 with mostly cloudy skies. Overall, pretty quiet day. But for Saturday, another system moves in. We'll see more cloud cover around the area and the chance for some snow showers and exclusive as we head towards Saturday evening as that system moves in. Now that could linger into your Sunday morning with temperatures much cooler.
Perry Bellum with the follow about 15 hours ago. Appreciate that. Thank you very much.
It's 95.3 Wednesdays, 12 days of Christmas. And once again this year, Santa's sleigh is overstuffed with presents.
Text DAYS to 45364 and enter for a chance to win great prizes from Impress Jewelry Creations, Belcher's Guns and Gunsmithing, and Z. Kramer Interiors.
Message and data rates apply. Check out the list and enter for a chance to win at 953mnc.com. Presented by Parkwood Auto Spa, the South Bend Chocolate Company, and Newstalk 95.3, Michiana's News Channel. Your breaking news and weather station.
You can probably use a few extra bucks for the holidays, even more importantly, after the holidays. And I don't know about you, but it's always overspending Christmas time for me. I can't seem to help it.
What is Mike doing commercials?
Christos Coin and Jewelry in South Bend. Yes, Christos Coin and Jewelry.
Wow.
They're always looking for jewelry left to people that will probably never be worn. Gold or silver coins that you have packed away. Now is an excellent time to put these keepsakes to good use and get cold, hard cash. Here's the thing. If it's important to you as it is to me, the great people at Christos Coin and Jewelry are honest, hard-working folks. They respect your valuables and will give you a fair price. They understand what many of these things mean to you, and mostly they know how to be fair. Check Christos out. Shop them and see for yourself. It doesn't cost you anything to drop in and have them take a look at your stuff. Christos Coin and Jewelry in South Bend on 933 just north of the toll road. If you want honest, you want Christos Coin and Jewelry. Drop in today.
Dry eye affects an estimated 20.7
All right.
million Americans.
There, I got all of this stuff up. Just for the few naysayers out there who don't know any better.
Do you struggle with dry, itchy, or even excessive watering eyes? Do you have discomfort when wearing contacts, light sensitivity, blurred vision, or struggle seeing at night? You may be one of the countless Americans suffering from dry eye. Well, relief is in sight. Southwest Vision Center is recognized as a dry eye.
Let me get into the
center of
chat
excellence
real quick.
that can help with many different solutions. You may even be surprised to find out that the money you've set aside in your Flexstone healthcare savings accounts can cover many of the treatment options. Don't forget to access those funds before they expire at the end of the year. Make plans.
All right, what's up, everybody?
In 2020, visit the Southwest Vision Center today with offices in.
Yeah, I'm swamped too, Tracy. I really am. So I did do 2 test drives today.
Find them on Facebook or visit.
Tried to find some time to
today.
go look for some cars today. Both were decent cars. They just both required, hundreds of dollars in work to get the check engine light off, which I ain't dealing with.
All the parts you need. Windows, doors, siding, roofing, decking, just to name a few. Not to mention the area's most complete selection of lumber. Our cabinet experts will design your new kitchen or bath with beautiful cabinets and countertops from the most recognized brand names in the industry, giving you more selection.
Exactly, Alex.
We offer free design service and free in-home consultation. Need to replace your home siding, windows, or exterior doors? We can handle that too, from the sale to the installation.
We will get to it.
For a free no-obligation estimate, call us today at 272-6500. Experience friendly hometown service at Big C Lumber.
Hometown service, hometown pride.
So have we heard from Dean at all lately? Like, he hasn't been on Facebook or anything either. I remember somebody saying that he got like a new gig, but I don't remember anybody answering.
My daily life. My hernia was something that I enjoy. That's when I learned about robotic surgery at St. Joe. With a simple outpatient procedure, I was back to normal in days, not weeks. Thanks to St. Joe, I've turned time sitting out into time cherishing the people I love. Get back to the things you enjoy. Schedule your hernia assessment today. Call 1-833-300-WELL.
What's the difference between a thread from Elkhart Bedding and a national brand?
It's an easy fix with electrical tape, right?
The label?
Yeah,
Our
that it
materials
is.
and construction are the same as the national brand, but because we're factory direct.
No, I mean, one of them was a Pontiac G6, which is a good car, and the other was a Passat, which is a good car.
Like our 2-sided queen sleep set for just $200.
Just too much.
Get the most
I'm not going to buy a vehicle and then have to spend several $100s fixing an immediate problem. I expect there to be some issues with a car with the budget I'm looking at. But
Here's owner Jeffrey Ness on the benefits of being family-owned and operated. We felt when you get bigger, you can't take care of your customers as well as you can when they're smaller. You know, when the guys have a one-on-one type thing with their customer, it makes it feel a whole lot better to them and us too.
number one trend right now, YouTube is over party. That's the number one trend on Twitter right now. That YouTube is over.
Temps warming for the rest of the week. We have traffic and weather first thing in the morning.
No info about Dean? Nothing?
95.3 M&C.
And good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. Once again, we're talking about the Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Lindsey Graham. Senator Graham he was talking with Michael Horowitz, the Inspector General, in his report. And, you know, he let off. He goes, look, it's been a long time since I've spoke for even 20 minutes, but I'm going to go a little bit longer today. And he did. He went over 40. And we're not going to play that entire thing for obvious reasons. But he did start off with, you know, Crossfire Hurricane was probably aptly named because it was a crossfire and it was a hurricane. It was a disaster for the FBI. He also pointed out that James Comey, the former director of the FBI, has been running around and saying, hey, I've been vindicated here once again. And so Lindsey Graham asked the Inspector General about it. Now, remember, the Inspector General in his previous report about Comey said that Comey had went outside of FBI procedures, okay? So he wasn't kind to Comey in his independent report about Comey. And so Graham asked him about it. And Horowitz says, no, nobody is vindicated who touched this thing. Nobody. Everybody is dirty who was involved with Crossfire Hurricane, which is the investigation into President Trump. Cue my audio again, Joe. This is Lindsey Graham criticizing the FBI for its handling of the 2016 probe into possible Russia collusion.
Now, how the hell did this whole thing start? What got us here today? They opened up a counterintelligence investigation in July. We know the Russians are messing in our election. And it was the Russians, ladies and gentlemen, who stole the Democratic National Committee emails, Podesta's emails, and screwed around with Hillary Clinton. It wasn't the Ukrainians. It was the Russians. And they're coming after us again. So to be concerned that the Russians are messing with presidential campaigns was a legitimate concern. So one of the first things they tried to do was to get a warrant under the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act to follow Carter Page, a volunteer for the campaign and American citizen. They applied for the warrant internally in August of 2016, and the lawyers say you don't have enough. Why? Because they had nothing. So McCabe suggests, the number 2 guy at the FBI, well, let's go look at this Steele dossier. Maybe that will get us over the hump. Christopher Steele went all over the United States trying to get media outlets to publish this garbage. The first thing is about the golden shower. about the sexual encounter that President Trump supposedly had in a Ritz-Carlton hotel in Russia. And the first thing I thought of was, oh my God. One of two things. This could be Russian disinformation, or they may have something on Trump. If you read this document, the first thing you would think of is they got something on Donald Trump. It is stunning, it is damning, it is salacious.
But of course, they didn't have anything on him. Now, Lindsey Graham also went into details about who Steele is. Now, remember, he's a British intelligence service official, and he was deemed to be not a reliable source prior to all of this. Okay, that's important that everybody understand that. So this is Senator Graham talking about that.
But a little bit about Steele. In 2015, the British intelligence service said, you need to watch this guy, he's not reliable. They take time to go to London to check Steele out. And they're told he demonstrates lack of self-awareness, poor judgment, keen to help but underpinned by poor judgment, judgment pursuing people with political risk but no intel value. If you'd spend 30 minutes looking at Christopher Steele, you would understand this guy is biased. He's got an axe to grind. He's on the payroll of the opposing party. Take anything he says with a grain of salt.
And he's right about that. Of course, this is all stuff that we have reported to everybody and we have continued to cover. You know, but if you look at all, it's just staggering. Now, he did this for 40 minutes. I'm not going to go and do the entire thing, but Lindsey Graham gave the opening statement. He's the committee chairman. He gave the opening statement. It was about 40 minutes. And, you had CNN carried every minute of Adam Schiff's opening statement. CNN carried every minute of Nadler's opening statement. They carried none of Graham's opening statement. None. Isn't that interesting? So why is it that CNN determines that Adam Schiff and Nadler are worthy of having their entire statements carried on their network, but not Lindsey Graham? Pretty interesting stuff. Now, for those of you who do not remember what I was referring... Oh, hold on a second. Now, take my audio out because my live stream's running on my website. For those of you who do not remember what I am talking about with the long, rich history, okay? Long, rich history of James Comey violating American civil rights with illegal surveillance of them. I am going to remind you of all of that here with more details coming up in just a couple of minutes. And why am I doing this? Because it's important, since I'm the only person in the country telling you this, it is important that you understand that, because this was huge. These are huge bombshells. When did this first get going? May of 2017, I've been talking about this. Since May of 2017. That's a long time, right, Joe? We're almost to 2020. May of 2017 is when news broke that the FISA court admonished the FBI under James Comey. And since then, there have only been continued developments on that particular topic. May of 2017, I started talking about this. So you got more coming up. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
This is Michiana's breaking news and weather station.
NC. Jump. Well, I'm just hoping that Dean's okay, because I was talking with Dean a couple of days before then about bringing my car in, and then I never heard back from him, which is not like him at all. So I just honestly just want to make sure he was all right.
The lawsuit says the cruise line was negligent. It should not have put a wall of glass in a children's play area in the first place. It also alleges that the ship was not up to 100% outstanding codes designed to make their falls and to be assignable to a specified setting birthday would have been this Friday. The online real estate scam is growing in popularity.
The Better Business Bureau of Northern Indiana says scammers are starting to take advantage of the online rental home and vacation rental market, with nearly half of shoppers reporting finding a fake listing in a 2018 study. The Bureau says in many cases, the scammers will only communicate via text message and have excuses for not being able to meet their victim for a tour of the property. The average loss in the scam is about $400, but some have lost $1,000 or more. So if you're looking into online listings, do as much research as possible to make sure that it's not too good to be true.
That's 3MC's Brooklyn, baby. In Funbridge, Tennessee, Justice Department Inspector General Michael Horowitz testifying today about his review of the Russian election melon investigation origins, which found the FBI was justified in its probe, but noted there were errors made in applying for classified warrants. Also, did not suspect investigations for any errors or omissions with publicly dispute his findings that there was no political bias in the investigation. Despite President Trump's comments that peace talks with the Taliban have resumed, the group today attended a medical clinic for the largest American base in Afghanistan.
Sorry, there's a lot of links to add into this.
Especially when U.S. forces commenced. Since the situation was contained to the clinic, the air base was not in danger.
Welcome to sponsor that. My table restaurant. The kids love to
At least Hoover was somewhat right.
I have only 25 degrees today. Mostly hot skies and chance for flurries throughout the day. Most likely to get into the teens with your low. Thankfully, big improvements coming away from Thursday with a high near 40 degrees. A few more clouds starts moving throughout the day. In the ABC 7 First 40 Neighborhood Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Mike Today.
Like I said, I mean, I'm hope the guy's okay. So.
Commodities mostly working lower today, eggs included, and that Sunday deadline for more tariffs on Chinese goods has traders nervous. So we're focused on whether there will be a trade breakthrough. In the meantime, the
All right. Got your message, buddy. Thank you.
Ended at 371 and a quarter, 5 3/4 down. May 378 down 4 3/4. In July, 383 3/4 down 4 1/4. January soybeans 893 and a half down 7 3/4. March.
God, what a busy week. Jeez.
May contract down 7 1/4 at 920.
And then next week's going to be even more chaotic because I have a couple of days. Excuse me, next week, and then I have the 19th is when my vacation starts, but I come back on the 20th on my vacation before Pass the Mic at Monterey Mexican Bar and Grill. So, yeah. Who did it? Everybody's telling me about the wonderful Christmas party that's going to be happening here in the building this week that I won't be able to go to. But there will be plenty of food. So there is that. And there's nothing wrong with food. Food's good. I dig food.
With our decisions through the course of the past year, we believe that monetary policy should serve the benefit of supporting disease growth, strong job market, and inflation rates of 2%.
The Fed signaling that it expects to keep loan rates unchanged next year. I'm sure the Home Depot are waiting on the Dow today after lowering its sales forecast into next year, 3 weeks after the Home Improvement chain cut its 2019 sales forecast. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Lori Marski, invested in you.
Hey, this is Jay Farmer, CEO of Quicken Loans. Quicken Loans is celebrating our best quarter ever, and now we're celebrating some of the lowest refinancing rates ever. Rates have dropped so much that many Americans can reduce their rate. You may be able to save money on your monthly mortgage payment right now. The rate today on our 30-year fixed rate mortgage.
Yep, Twitter jail. I'm very familiar with Twitter jail.
Call us at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com to learn more. Rates subject to change.
That's funny, Paula.
Prescription products require an online physician consultation and are only available if the physician determines prescriptions appropriate. Subscription required. See website for full details and important safety information.
Hey guys, good news. The outrageously expensive little blue pill is now generic, which means you can get the prescription medication
You're dealing with a headache right now,
at
seriously.
affordable prices. And Hims makes it extra affordable. You pay just $30 for a month's supply. And right now, get your first online doctor's visit totally free when you go to forhims.com/joy. That's right, free.
You can see food recommendations based on your DNA now.
Face-to-face conversations with your prescription. Hims connects you to doctors online who can evaluate you and, if appropriate, prescribe your ED medication. And a pharmacy sends it right to your door. Hims makes it affordable, private, and incredibly easy. Nobody likes dealing with ED. Now, thanks to Hims, nobody has to. And that's really good news. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/joy. That's forhims.com/joy for your free online visit. forhims.com/joy. Imagine owning a home.
Pete Buttigieg is tweeting to Greta Thunberg. We cannot wait to act. I am with you. Change is coming.
It is available right now.
Okie dokie, Pete.
Home buildings will design a sustainable, high-performance home that can reduce the amount of money you spend on energy, often to zero. This is done by greatly reducing the energy needed for heating and cooling. With a zero-energy home, you've already paid for the next 30 years of utility bills up front. As energy costs continue to rise, yours won't. So if you're looking to build a new home and you love the sustainability idea, visit newenergybuilding.com. They'll help you build a zero-energy home. Find more info at newenergybuildings.com. And best part, zero never goes up.
South Bend Chocolate Company with 6 locations in South Bend and Michigan. Happy holidays.
Pat Miller actually tweeted out the word poppycock. Nice. Good for you. Good for you, Pat. At least your friend is on your side. Yeah. Take care, Al.
Happy holidays, Michiana, from all of us at the Learn Paper.
All right, here we go.
First step to the final phase. Industrial and commercial electrical done right. This is Casey Hendrickson.
All right, so here's where I do the flashback stuff, right? And the reason that I have to do the flashback stuff is because I'm the only person in the media telling you all of this, and I've been telling you this since May of 2017. And every time there's an update on it, I give you that update. Just like when it came to Imran Awan, there was Luke Rosiak and me. Nobody else in the country was covering the story except for Politico, which would chime in every 3 or 4 months on some update with it. But I want to remind you about all of this, okay? So back in May of 2017, this is an article that I published on my website. I also did the podcast, and I put it up on YouTube as its own video, okay? So if you're watching YouTube right now, when you're done with this, just look for James Comey in my YouTube channel, which is at Casey the Host. We're also live streaming on YouTube right now, live streaming on Twitch at Casey the Host right now. FISA court says James Comey's FBI was constantly breaking the law. Okay, that's the title. Former FBI Director James Comey headed the FBI during a time when declassified documents, and the FISA court says the FBI was constantly breaking the law and violating the constitutional rights of Americans. The media is still yapping about Russia without any evidence and can't be bothered to give this story any attention. So I broke it down for everybody in that particular segment. But that's exactly what was going on. So now, May of 2017 is when that happened. So then, in June of 2017, James Comey sued by former intelligence contractor for hiding that illegal surveillance. former intelligence contractor is suing former FBI Director James Comey for hiding all of the illegal spying on Americans that he was warned about. Remember, the FISA court recently said that James Comey's FBI was constantly breaking the law, illegally spying on Americans, and illegally transferring that information to third parties. His former intelligence contractor corroborates exactly what the FISA court confirmed James Comey and the FBI did, only on a much larger scale. Okay, so there was that. So June 2017. Okay. Then you go to June 2018. Comey broke from FBI procedures in Clinton probe, according to the watchdog. Now, that's where you get into the inspector general. Okay, that's what Horowitz's report was. He broke with all that. So James Comey, according to Horowitz, back in 2018, deviated from FBI and Justice Department procedures in handling the probe into Hillary Clinton, damaging the law enforcement agency's image of impartiality, even though he wasn't motivated by political bias, according to Horowitz. Okay. Then you go to October of 2019. The New York Times reporter has revealed that James Comey had a spy in Loretta Lynch's office, the former Attorney General of the United States, and knew that Loretta Lynch had declared that she would not permit the Clinton email scandal to go very far. Isn't that interesting? So New York Times and the New York Post both were reporting that James Comey had a spy inside the Attorney General's office. So not only was James Comey spying on the Trump campaign, not only was James Comey spying on thousands of Americans illegally and deceiving the FISA court on a routine basis, James Comey was spying on the Attorney General of the United States under Barack Obama, Loretta Lynch. See, you get a pattern here? And the reason that I'm doing all of this is so you understand that there is a pattern with him. Now, this story from the Wall Street Journal, which is October of this year, FBI's use of surveillance database violated Americans' privacy rights, according to the court. That court, the FISA court. This happened after the FBI super totally promised the FISA court that they were not going to continue the illegal surveillance operations that were run by James Comey, which happened again May of 2017. Well, they were declassified May of 2017, so that's when we found out about them. Some of the Federal Bureau of Investigation's electronic surveillance activities violated the constitutional privacy rights of Americans swept up in a controversial foreign intelligence program, a secretive surveillance court has ruled. The ruling deals a rare rebuke of U.S. spying programs that have generally withstood legal challenge and review since they were dramatically expanded after September 11, 2001. The opinion resulted in the FBI agreeing to better safeguard privacy and apply new procedures, including recording how the database is searched to detect possible future compliance issues. The intelligence community disclosed Tuesday that the FISA court last year found that the FBI's efforts to search data about Americans ensnared in a warrantless internet surveillance program intended to target foreign suspects have violated the law authorizing the program, as well as the Constitution's Fourth Amendment protections against unreasonable searches. Remember, this happened after the FISA court had already admonished the FBI under Comey's leadership for doing this and other illegal surveillance programs, and the FBI promised the FISA court they'd never do it again. And they did. Now, James Comey doesn't get blamed for this one because he wasn't in leadership, but James Comey was in leadership when they were originally admonished by the FISA court. The issue was made public by government only after it lost an appeal of the judgment earlier this year before another secret court. So the only reason we know about all of this is because you have people like Judicial Watch and other organizations that are filing these FOIA requests and getting this information released. So again, going back to May of 2017, we have a long established history of James Comey at the FBI routinely, systematically, by the thousands, violating American civil rights by illegally spying on them. So what he did by setting up the sting operation, by telling Trump about the whole prostitute thing in Russia, the golden showers thing, when he set up that operation, he put at least 2 spies. It's so funny. Adam Schiff is out there going, we have no evidence of any spies being in the Trump campaign. We've got at least 2 of them. And we've got them admitting it, but whatever. So anyway, We got James Comey doing those operations, putting a spy in the Attorney General's office. We've got James Comey spying on thousands of Americans. We've got James Comey lying to the FISA court in order to be able to spy on Trump. All of these things show he just has a he's a tyrant. James Comey is a tyrant. And this is a guy who is now teaching ethical leadership classes. He's got books coming out. James Comey is exactly the opposite of what you're supposed to be in government service in the United States of America. He is the worst kind of tool for a despot. If we had an Adolf Hitler today, James Comey would be Goebbels. Or at least pretty darn close to it. We've got more coming up. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Casey Hendrickson.
News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Your breaking news and weather station.
You have an impress me.
Meet regularly for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Just call the Prime Table to reserve tables for your next gathering.
Now, your home comfort experts, heating specialists, 5-day forecast.
Cold once again today with temperatures only warming up to 25 degrees. We have a couple flurries possible right around midday, but they'll be light and not adding really much of anything. We have partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies in our forecast. We will see temperatures slowly start to climb near 40 degrees for your Thursday. Finally, some improvement with once again partly cloudy skies turning mostly cloudy. For Friday, a high near 40 with mostly cloudy skies. Overall, pretty quiet day. But for Saturday, another system moves in. We'll see more cloud cover around the area and the chance for some snow showers and even mixed precip as we head towards Saturday evening as that system moves in. Now, that could linger into your Sunday morning with temperatures much colder, dropping down to 27. In the ABC 57, first morning neighborhood weather center, I'm meteorologist Olafidity.
This is ABC 57 meteorologist Tom Coon. Rain or shine, your first morning neighborhood weather center forecast is on 95.3 MNC. Plus, you can plan ahead with the 5-day forecast at 16 and 46. Weekday mornings during Michiana's morning news and on the drive home with Casey Hendrickson. As always, when severe weather threatens, depend on us for expanded weather coverage until the storm passes through on News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel, your breaking news and weather station.
I'm Dan Chrisman. I've been a painter all my life. Well, I think it's just in my blood. I mean, my grandpa was a painter. My great-great-grandfather, when he came across the ocean, listed himself as a painter. And then my dad, he's been a painter for a lot of his life. And now I'm a painter. I love to paint. I really do. People are not a big fan of having their house work for a long period of time. That's where I think we come in, and we have a larger crew. So a bedroom or a great room is not taking us 3 days. We may be in and out in 1 day. Because we have that larger crew, we have that ability to get in and out. People don't, like I said, want to be tore up for a long period of time. It is all about cleaning too. I mean, you know, a lot of people in the spring and in the fall, people are wanting to repaint great rooms and bedrooms and bathrooms and just spruce it up.
All right.
574-633-0171 or ChristianCustomPainting.com. If I put my name on the job, I want it to be a good product. It should last.
Of all the questions you get asked every day, this is one you shouldn't ignore. How much money in your 401k or IRA is actually yours? Not what its current value is, but how much.
Warren says that James Comey is the reason that we have the Second Amendment. Exactly.
You still might owe taxes on that money. And how about the tax efficiency? Are you overpaying or are you keeping every dollar you're entitled to? Look, I know it's confusing, it's complicated, and it definitely isn't fun. That's why we work with tax professionals to help make sure you aren't paying more in taxes than your fair share. It's your money. You deserve to know what's at stake, and you have the power to ensure your retirement accounts are paying you. Don't do the IRS any favors. Call our team at Howard Bailey today at 866-482-9559, 866-482-9559.
Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Howard Bailey Financial does not offer legal or tax advice. Please consult the appropriate professional regarding your individual circumstances.
'Tis the season to save at Lock Money Motors.
Let's see.
Price and plus during the big finished 2019 sales event. Get employee pricing on most new in-stock 2019-2020 Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram vehicles. Looking for a new truck? Save $8,000 on a new 2020 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4. Need an SUV that will help you plow through winter? Save $4,000 on a new 2019 Jeep Renegade 4x4.
Oh, here's the Comey thing for Fox and Friends.
Special pricing is available on purchasing these options. Become a part of the Lock Money Motors family this holiday season. Get employee pricing plus during the Big Finish 2019 sales event. Employee pricing on most 2019-2020 Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram vehicles. Lock Money Motors is top rated on Facebook and Google with a 4.7 out of 5 on Facebook and has been recommended over 550 times. Lock Money Motors, 920 North Napa, the Elkhart, lockmoney.com. A tradition of caring since 1954.
Wake up with us first thing weekday mornings for your top
Impressed.
weather traffic.
All right.
News on 95.3 MNC, your breaking news and weather station.
Hey, good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. I am your host, Casey Hendrickson. Got to talk to you about Impress Jewelry Creations. You know, I was doing the live read for them yesterday, and we had a listener call and rave about them to Joe. Just absolutely raved about Impress Jewelry Creations. And that's, honestly, that's the reaction that most people get from them because they're just that great. Not only are you talking about the highest quality jewelry pieces that you're ever going to see, not only are you going to talk about one-of-a-kind pieces that they manufacture themselves that nobody else is going to have a duplicate of, that are going to be made from the best diamonds and the rarest gemstones that you will not find anywhere else in the world, only at Impress Jewelry Creations. And their customer service is just top-notch. Plus, they've got a sale going. I mean, 25, 35, even 40% off on pretty much everything that's in stock from now until the end of the year. So up to 40% off on those. And you get amazing stuff. Yes, they have some of the best designers and jewelry companies. They have their best lines, just like everybody else does, but they have their own unique designs that are made in-house. You can't get them anywhere else, and they're just phenomenal. In fact, we actually have some Impress Jewelry Creations prizes in the 12 Days of Christmas contest that we're doing at 953mnc.com. So I would recommend you go out to Impress Jewelry Creations. You can visit their website at impressjewelers.com. Or you can go to Impress Jewelry Creations in person. Again, they're located in Granger. They're right there at 1233 University Drive. They're next to Temper Grill and C. Kramer Interiors. And when you go in, please, while you're browsing around, let them know that you're in there because you listen to this show. And we have spoken so highly of them because, well, it helps us and it helps them to know that their advertising is working. But at the same time, we're proud to have you in there because that place is phenomenal. Love them over there. Go to impressjewelers.com. All right, so here's the story on the Fox News spat with James Comey. James Comey, a couple of days ago, he says, I offered to go on Fox and Friends to answer all questions. I can't change their viewers on Donald Trump, but hoped to give them some actual facts about the FBI. And again, how about just pointing out that the FISA court has routinely admonished the FBI under his leadership? They booked me for tomorrow at 8 a.m. This is on the 9th. They booked me for tomorrow at 8 a.m. They just canceled. Must have read the report. Okay, first of all, the report, as Horowitz just testified to today when speaking with Senator Graham, does not vindicate Comey at all. Not in the slightest. It says that Comey has not been vindicated in this. Nobody who is involved with Crossfire Hurricane, the operation to look into collusion, nobody is vindicated in that. And so that had nothing to do with it. And if you read the report from Horowitz, it is crystal clear that it's not friendly to Comey, okay? Nor is Horowitz's previous report that came out last year. That was not friendly to Comey either. So again, that doesn't make sense. Two, cancellations on TV happen all the time. I've been canceled on Fox and Friends a couple of times, maybe once. So going in to talk about Pete Buttigieg, okay? So it happens. It's not because there's some conspiracy or anything like that. It's just because it's a television schedule and they move things around a lot. But beyond that, Fox is saying that not only did they not cancel, but he was never booked. James Comey, this is a Fox News spokesperson, James Comey was not booked and was never confirmed to appear on Fox and Friends. So then you have Martha McCollum. We have reached out to your staff and invited you to come on tonight. Hope you will join us. He didn't. Brett Baer, we'd love to have you back on Special Report, Mr. Comey, live or pre-tape. I have read the report. Just DM me. He didn't. So James Comey's out there lying again. He did go on, it was either MSNBC or CNN. I don't remember which one he went on. He did go on one of them in order to go ahead and yap about it. But at the end of the day, he knows he violated the rights of Carter Page. He knows that. Lindsey Graham said today that he hopes Carter Page sues everybody, and he will. Okay, there's already some of those cases pending. And Carter Page has every right to sue the snot out of everyone. If this were a criminal investigation, no judge would allow this trial to go forward, period. They would be throwing this case out with extreme prejudice. There would probably be some inquiries into prosecutorial misconduct as a result of the prosecutor even bringing the case. There would certainly be some inquiries into investigative misconduct of the police department that would be involved with doing this sort of stuff. This would never fly in a criminal justice court in the United States of America. Never. There's such a gross abuse of power. And I know that I'm not the first person to tell you any of this. I get that. But I am the only person to tell you about the constant repetitive abuses of surveillance that James Comey did while at the FBI. Now, why is that? Now, I'm really good at what I do. I understand that. I'm not trying to boast. I'm good at what I do. I find information that other people can't. But this information is very well known. And so why is it that members of the media aren't running around and going, well, you can say that, Comey, but, the FISA court has kind of ripped on you and your leadership a bunch for illegally surveilling and wiretapping people and violating their constitutional rights. So, why should we believe that you weren't just going about doing that with Donald Trump too? Exactly. Now, maybe it wasn't motivated by political bias on Comey's part. Maybe it wasn't. The information that we have says otherwise. Maybe Comey is just that awful of a human being, and he just likes to abuse his authority to go ahead and get as much information as possible. And I stand by my assertion that all of these eavesdropping devices that have been found in Washington, D.C. that they say belong to a foreign government, I don't think they do. I think they belong to the FBI. I believe probably other agencies too. I believe that they are the Stingray devices that are there, that were implanted by the FBI, whether it was James Comey or somebody else. I have no idea. To listen to all of these politicians and all of these people who come into Washington, D.C. and to go and gather as much data as they possibly can, including data on foreigners. It's what Comey has done is as tyrannical as it could possibly be in the United States. We got more coming up.
WTRC FM.
And HD1 and HD3.
Niles, South Bend, Elkhart.
All right, we'll grab refill. I'll be right back.
Watchdog report. Lisa Brady, Fox News. It's on the ordinance of the Russia probe. Idaho Senator Mike Capo among the Republicans taking issue with the reports of finding there was no political motivation.
It seems to me that the kind of misconduct that has been presented by you and reviewed by our chairman and many others here today is mind-numbing to consider that it could be just accidental.
Secretary Halper is live on Capitol Hill.
The Justice Department Inspector General detailed more than a dozen serious errors from FBI and Justice Department investigators in the Russia probe in 2016, including omitting Michael Moore has also found the Russia investigation and its crossfire hurricane is open for an authorized investigative purpose and with sufficient factual predication. He also says he's found no evidence of political bias played a role in the launch of the investigation.
Jared, the multiple agencies funding yesterday's deadly shootout in New Jersey are not confirming reports about hate crimes across the live houses are not stopped this month.
In fact, they said the local state and federal officials are quite tight to this point about why David Anderson killed an officer at Target.
Okay.
These are looking into the killer's connection to the black Hebrew Israelis, which have been labeled as evil. New Jersey Attorney General Herbert Burnwell says some of the killing may come into play.
Anderson and Graham are prime suspects in the Bayonne driver.
That man was Michael Rumberg, who found dead in a car trunk over the weekend. Death and Tuesday's attacks still being investigated.
Thanks for lying. America is listening.
This is Michiana's breaking news and weather station. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel, and 95.3 MNC.com.
I'm Tommy Lee, the MNC News Center, and our top stories this afternoon. Familiar breaking news. Manufacturing investment in the future state.
Nestle USA is planning a $200 million investment at its production facility near Anderson. The company is asking for a tax break as part of a plan to install new equipment at the factory located along I-69, which makes Coffee Mate and Boost energy drinks. Anderson Mayor Thomas Broderick says he supports the proposed abatement and that he's thrilled that Nestle continues to invest in the site. Officials say Nestle has invested approximately $1 billion in the Anderson plant since 2006. That employs more than 800 people.
95.3 MNC's King Action reporting. Michiana will be represented once again at the Golden Globes this year as Mishawaka native Adam Driver, best known for his role as Kylo in Star Wars saga, has been nominated for Best Actor. He's nominated for his role in Netflix movie Marriage Story, which received 6 other nods. Driver will hear his name announced alongside fellow nominees Christian Bale, Antonio Banderas, Joaquin Phoenix, and Jonathan Price. And the Michiana native is doing her hometown crowd on Jeopardy!
Her name is Jennifer Quayle, and she's now a household name in her hometown of Dowagiac. In the 5 appearances she's made so far, she's made well over $100,000. She tells WSBT that it has been a dream of hers since she was in the 2nd grade to go on the show, and after taking the online test and going to a few auditions, she was finally chosen for the show. With her most recent win, she's guaranteed a spot in the Tournament of Champions. Quayle is a wine tasting consultant and credits her success to just reading.
That's the MNC's Daryl White.
Weather sponsored by
Black Wine Table. Come in for your favorite breakfast. I love the bacon. No, I do. No, I do. No, I do.
Dinner, your home comfort experts, eating specialists, first 24 minutes.
Let's see. There we go.
Stay connected with 95.3 MNC on Alexa, Google Home, and smart speakers everywhere. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel, your breaking news and weather station. At first, it was just annoyance, but then it started affecting my daily life. My hernia was stopping me from doing what I enjoy. That's when I learned about robotic surgery at St. John. With a simple outpatient procedure, I went back to normal in days, not weeks. Thanks to St. Joe, I've turned time sitting out into time cherishing the people I love. Get back to the things you enjoy.
Yeah, I agree with you, Warren. The FBI attorney falsified evidence. 100%. We got 44 people watching, but only 19 thumbs? Oh, man. That's probably my fault. I haven't been very chatty on the stream today. Sorry.
At Quicken Loans, our 17,000 team members know that home is so much more than a house. That's because our clients tell us all the time. Hey, this is Jay Farn, CEO of Quicken Loans, and we want to help you save money on your mortgage with some of the lowest refinancing rates ever. Rates are historically low. You may be able to reduce your rate and save money on your monthly mortgage payment right now. Pay off some credit card debt, or put some money towards that new bathroom or kitchen you've always wanted. The rate today on our 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.99%. APR 4.18%. That's right, 3.99%. While we can't predict what will happen in the future, we do know that rates have dropped, and now is the time to save money on your mortgage. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com to learn how refinancing now may be the right mortgage solution for you. That's 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Rates subject to change. Pay 1.75% fee. See discounted rates. Call for cost information and conditions. See closing lender. License in 50 states. And MLS number 33.
Here we go.
Casey Hendrickson on News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel, your breaking news and weather station.
Good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. I am your host, Casey Hendrickson. Phone number 574-2595, 95.3. That is 2595-953. You can also send a text message to 45364. Please put MNC at the beginning of that message, please. All right. Sorry, I'm dealing with a headache. It's getting worse as the day progresses. So gunmen in New Jersey targeted that Jewish supermarket. According to the mayor, 2 gunmen targeted a Jewish supermarket in New Jersey Tuesday. This is the mass shooting that happened yesterday. According to Mayor Fulop, a police officer, 3 bystanders, and 2 gunmen died after an hours-long shootout broke out in Jersey City on Tuesday. The gunfight broke out at a cemetery and continued at a kosher supermarket about a mile away, according to the AP and everybody else who covered it. Last night, after extensive review of our closed-circuit television CCTV system, it has now become clear that from the cameras that these 2 individuals targeted the kosher grocery location. Now, Fulop is a Democrat, tweeted this out. This came after Fulop noted Tuesday evening that the gunman likely targeted the location. It is unclear if the attack was terrorism-related or why officials believe the supermarket was targeted. Of course, the suspects are now apparently tied to the Black Hebrew Israelites. Now, for those of you who are like, that sounds familiar, where do I know that organization from? Well, that is the same group of people that harassed the Covington Catholic kids in Washington, D.C. before the Native American Paul Phillips got involved, and then they blamed the Covington kids for harassing the Native American. It was the Black Hebrew Israelites who were there attacking and harassing the kids verbally, okay? And they were also there the entire day harassing Native Americans. That's what they were doing. So now there's a couple of things. One, as people on the live stream have expressed, they are shocked that the Black Hebrew Israelites even came up in the media. Furthermore, if you look at, did I mess? Okay, somebody says Nathan Phillips. I might have messed up his name. Sorry. Nathan Phillips. He's the Stolen Valor guy. So anyway, if you look at the searches here, you have the New York Times, you have NBC News, you have the Inquirer, you've got, National Review, Washington Examiner. That's not all, new. But the fact that you even have them talking about the Black Hebrew Israelites is huge because they have refused to cover any of them previously. I mean, they all but didn't exist when it came to the Covington story. They just pretended that that group wasn't even there. So now, again, you've got at least one of these gunmen being a member of the Black Hebrew Israelites, according to the information that we have at this point in time. What the extent of that relationship was, I guess we'll have to find out. But the mayor is out there, and he is saying that they targeted this kosher store. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Black Hebrew Israelites are basically a black supremacist group. They hate white people. They don't like Jewish people. They don't like Native Americans. They have some very weird beliefs. Yes, they are pretty much fringe. But isn't it interesting how with the Black Hebrew Israelites and all of these stories where people are covering them, and by the way, I am grateful that they're actually covering them, okay, because they usually don't. But every article that I have read has been the fringe Black Hebrew Israelites, and they're minimizing who this group is. Well, here's the thing. Militant racists in this country are all fringe because they're extremely rare. And most people will go through their lives and they will never meet an actual militant racist. It just won't happen. It doesn't matter what race they are from, okay? Some of us will run into them, and I certainly have, but most people won't actually run into that person, all right? They won't ever meet them. So anytime you have an incident where there is a hate crime committed, it's really fringe. But they never say fringe unless, of course, we are dealing with a narrative problem. And the narrative problem here is that I got news for you. There are black hate groups in the United States of America. There's actually quite a few of them. And the media can do whatever they want to go ahead and minimize all of that. And again, they're still fringe, but all of these hate groups are fringe. But they only attempt to minimize their impact when they have to cover this because it goes against the narrative. So National Review. The suspects in a shooting at a kosher market in Jersey City on Tuesday have been linked to the Black Hebrew Israelite group. The suspects have been identified as David Anderson, Francine Graham, according to NBC4, which is a local New York affiliate. Anderson and Graham were in a U-Haul van in a cemetery on Tuesday when New Jersey Detective Joseph Seals moved in to investigate, as the van was linked to another murder committed on Saturday. The suspects shot Seals, then continued to the market where they opened fire on an Hasidic Jewish man on the sidewalk and continued to shoot at people inside the store. Let's see. They were killed hours after an hours-long shootout with police. Anderson is reportedly a one-time adherent of Black Hebrew ideology, which contends that African Americans are the true descendants of the ancient Israelites. The Black Hebrew Israelites have a supremacist wing classified as a hate group. Okay, they do talk about the Southern Poverty Law Center, but nobody cares about the Southern Poverty Law Center because they themselves are a hate group. Black Hebrew adherents in February harassed a group of students from Covington Catholic School, which is the only reason you're hearing about this because National Review is covering it, okay? This would not typically be in any traditional press. Law enforcement official and Anderson published. A law enforcement official said that Anderson published anti-Semitic texts online. Again, they are anti-Semitic. It has now become clear from those cameras that they targeted this store. I'm paraphrasing the mayor. I'm 100% certain that the situation would have been far more tragic than what it already is, okay, had police not responded to the shooting. In other words, according to the mayor, who's a Democrat, this would have been far worse if the good guys with guns hadn't shown up so fast. Got it. Most active shooters end when the police arrive. In this case, one of the four officers gave his life immediately trying to prevent that subsequently occurred. 2 more officers were shot trying to prevent it, and the Jersey City Police Department continued to respond and engage those people to minimize any possibility of damage. So as time goes on, and Black Hebrew Israelites has been trending on Twitter as well. There's going to be a lot of people who are in new media who understand who this group is, who has talked about this group for some time, and are saying, see, we told you to watch out for this group. As some people in the live stream pointed out, just so we are clear, the Black Hebrew Israelites are responsible for more mass shootings than the NRA. It's true. 100%. Got more coming up. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Casey Hendrickson.
News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Your breaking news.
Southwest Division Center.
Weather served up
All right.
26 years of exceptional weather, tremendous service, and great people. Visit Prime Table today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
Now, your home comfort experts, heating specialists, Monday Mornings.
Cold once again today with temperatures only warming up to 25 degrees. We do have a couple of flurries possible right around midday, but they'll be light and not adding up to really much of anything. We have partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies in our forecast. We will see temperatures really start to climb near 40 degrees. Going to Thursday, finally some improvement with once again partly cloudy skies turning mostly cloudy.
I don't think I'm getting sick, but I just don't. I don't feel right. I am going to be at Perbaco tonight, though. So if y'all want to... What's that?
Follow us on Twitter. Join our email and text clubs. Full details on our website.
Yeah, I heard the pipe bomb thing as well.
Taking dreams from drawing board to reality with precision, on schedule, and on budget. From the very first step to the final phase, you need the trusted experience of a team who knows how to get the job done. Final Phase Electric has the tools and the experience to make your dreams a reality, and can step in at any time to assess your project with a level of unmatched precision that throws guesswork out the window. We believe in positive results through positive people, and we're positive that we can help you with your commercial or industrial project. One call does it all. 574-522-44.
In Philadelphia, no questions asked gun turn-in program over the weekend netted 6 guns.
You've got better things to do. Let us hook you up. Find Final Phase Electric on Facebook or visit finalphaseelectric.net. Winter is the worst.
That
for
is
your
just a
vehicle.
success.
While you're warm and toasty and driving down the road, the salt, sludge, and snow is covering your car, building up ice blocks in your wheel well. Don't make winter any worse than it is. Make regular visits to one of the finest exterior auto washes in Parkwood Auto Spa. Located in South Bend, just east of Ironwood on Ireland Road, and Mishawaka off Edison Road. Open 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m., 7 days a week. And this holiday season is the perfect time to take advantage. Big savings are available with discount coupon books priced at buy 5 washes, get 3 free. Enough for you to have some for yourself and all those people on your list. Visit one of their locations or go to parkwoodautospot.com to purchase yours today and get your shopping done. And while you're there, download their new app with new and exciting.
This Weinstein, oh man, Harvey Weinstein has reportedly reached a tentative civil settlement with accusers that won't require him to admit wrongdoing or cost him any of his own money.
Come as you are. Stay in your car.
Through the next
Keep
level
watching
road
that
plan,
one.
The Indiana Department of Transportation is investing more than $60 billion improving and maintaining Indiana's highways over the next 20 years to keep our economy moving and make your drive safer and smoother. Do your part to keep everyone safe. Slow down in work zones, put down your cell phone, and pay attention. Download the INDOT mobile app to learn about road projects and traffic conditions. Available in the App Store and on Google Play. And visit nextlevelroads.com.
Now at Menards, save big money on your next project with 11% off everything. Update your home with IBC sheet vinyl flooring. It can be installed easily and comes in a variety of colors. Get great waterproof flooring now. 10% off. Stop waiting and start saving with 11% off everything now at Menards. Price is good until December 14th. Savings are available in rebates. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
YouTube causing problems, huh?
Amish Acres, the live musical performance of Beauty and the
Did they
Beast.
wait a day
It's a
after the
classic
purge
musical
was supposed to start to get me?
perfect family activity to enjoy over the holiday season. And for a limited time, you can still get 50% off your tickets at mydealsmichiana.com. Beauty and the Beast only runs until the end of December at Amish Acres. Don't miss out on your chance to see it with your family for 50% off. Get your tickets now at mydealsmichiana.com.
Tomorrow's day 9 of the 12 Days of Christmas. I'm John Zimmer.
And I'm Brooklyn Beatty. The price of the day is $7.20, along with the morning's top stories.
Right here on 95.3 MNC.
And good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. I am your host, Casey Hendrickson. Phone number, 574-2595-95.3. That is 2595-953. Just tentatively kind of watching this a little while ago, a report came out that Harvey Weinstein has reached a civil settlement with his accusers that would not get him any jail time and not cost him any of his own money. If that ends up being true, there is going to be a bunch of people who are going to be outraged over that, and rightfully so, especially since we have some audio tapes which seem to suggest that he was at least somewhat guilty of some of the accusations against him. 574-2595-95.3. That is 2595-953. You can also send a text message to 45364. Please put MNC at the beginning of that message. You know, President Trump for a while now has gotten criticism for saying that, or not saying, but occasionally disagreeing with some of his advisors and some of the people around him, right? The experts. And how dare he go against the experts? It's never a problem if anybody else goes against the experts, but if he does, then of course it's showcasing some vanity or ego or lack of knowledge or something of that nature. Anyway, the reason I bring this up, the U.S. government's claims of progress in the war in Afghanistan over the last 18 years came up as top officials in private were venting that it was a costly waste of time. The Washington Post obtained and published a massive trove of confidential government documents, which it says were part of a federal project aimed at figuring out what had gone wrong in the lengthy conflict. U.S. generals, diplomats, Afghan officials, hundreds of others directly involved with the war were interviewed, and more than 2,000 pages of notes taken on their conversations paint a harsher picture than the rosy one the U.S. government has been selling to the American public, according to the Post. Every data point was altered to present the best picture possible, according to Bob Crowley, an Army colonel. That's what he told government interviewers, according to the Post. Surveys, for instance, were totally unreliable, but reinforced that everything we were doing was right, and we became a self-licking ice cream cone. That is the quote. It's an interesting one, by the way. A self-licking ice cream cone. I'm going to steal that. The notes on the interviews, which began in 2014, were obtained under the FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, following a 3-year legal battle, with most speaking on the assumption that their remarks would not become public. U.S. officials acknowledged that their warfighting strategies were fatally flawed and that Washington wasted enormous sums of money trying to remake Afghanistan into a modern nation. Now, for the record, this goes back to 2014, okay? This is not stuff that happened like last week. And a lot has changed strategy-wise and just culturally-wise in Afghanistan since 2014, okay? So just keep that in mind. Douglas Lute, 3-star Army general who acted as an Afghan war czar in the Bush and Obama administrations, reportedly told interviewers in 2015 that those in charge were devoid of a fundamental understanding of Afghanistan. Now, Joe, remind me, who was president in 2015 again?
2015.
Who's
that
president?
Would be President Obama.
That would be Obama, right. Do you all remember? See, some people are acting shocked and they're trying to lay this at the doorstep of Trump, which has nothing. This has nothing to do with Trump. Okay. Do you remember multiple leaks coming out about how Obama was not telling the truth about Afghanistan and that his strategy in Afghanistan wasn't working? Do you remember that? And how he wasn't listening to his commanders in Afghanistan? Repeatedly, we kept getting leaks about that, and the press really didn't cover it. And, the press is like, what? It's an anonymous source. Nobody believes anonymous sources. Of course, the press, will run with anonymous sources on everything else. This could very well be those same people saying, yeah, okay, internally, yes, we'll talk about this. The strategy is garbage. We're wasting a ton of money trying to do stuff that isn't going to work over there, and the administration is not listening to us. Yeah, that was clearly going on. There was also a couple of years there in this time frame where things got worse, okay, and then they got better. So again, I want you to understand that this is not new information. This goes back to 2014. So there are, it's a multi-year effort to talk with people who have experience in Afghanistan and saying that, yes, the American people were sold a bill of goods on Afghanistan. While there had been progress, there were a lot of things that were being inflated. Okay. But you're running into a theme over and over and over and over again here where you have multiple individuals, both in military leadership and in Tier 1 operations, saying that the people in D.C. did not understand what in the heck they were doing. They had no clue. And that was something that we heard from leaks and whistleblowers, if you will, for many years under the Obama administration. Many years. And in fact, remember the Moab? Remember when Trump dropped the Moab? He fixed a problem in a sector of that war that had been a problem since the beginning and had never been dealt with. And so he just blew up the base there. The terrorist base there. He just blew it up. Problem solved. They haven't had an issue in that sector since then. Anyway, 574-25-95-95-3. Bob, welcome to the program.
Hey, Casey, thanks for having me, man. A huge fan. I'll make this real quick. I do have a question, and I know that you've moved on a little bit, but it's with the entire Democrats get away with everything and everyone else has to adhere to the law thing. I think that pretty much all of Trump's supporters feel that it's time for that to end. And do you think here's my question. Do you think that any of these Democrats, any of these people in the FBI, any of these corrupt people, even if they're Republicans, whatever, I don't care, any of these guys that are doing all this stuff, do you think that they're actually going to go to jail? Because I hope that they do, and I think that that would set precedent and run out a lot of that stuff. Thanks a lot, Casey. Hey.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right, so this is a great question, and I know that I get this question on a whole host of topics. They go back to the previous administration and Hillary Clinton and all of these scandals, okay? Do I think anybody is going to actually go to jail? My answer on anybody, maybe. Do I think Adam Schiff? No, he's not. Do I think that James Comey is going to go to jail? No. Do I think that Wray, who's the current director of the FBI, is going to go to jail? No. I think he might be out of a job soon. I think Wray might be out of a job after the next election. And here's the thing. You have the Inspector General today testifying, okay, that individuals who were discovered to have lied, not made a mistake, lied to the FISA court, still continue to work at the FBI. A number of people who royally screwed up and abused their power, this is Katie Pavlich paraphrasing, a number of people who royally screwed up and abused their power are still working as agents for the FBI. Now remember, Horowitz actually has said that they're, at least one of these agents who intentionally deceived the FISA court still works there. Now, if you are Director Wray, that person should be gone immediately. So there's a lot of people out there pointing out that Director Wray is showing incompetence here. And there's some loyalty. Well, we're all FBI agents, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, that sort of thing. But look, you went into a federal court and you lied to people in order to spy on somebody who is a veteran, who went to one of the military academies, who literally helped America catch Russian spies. His name is Carter Page, because you didn't like the campaign he volunteered to work for. That's pretty sad. And so when you start looking at that, no. Now, I will say that Andrew McCabe appears to be in some trouble. Whether or not Andrew McCabe goes to jail, I don't know. And the likelihood that people are going to go to jail is probably pretty small. I will say that there are a couple of, like Durham's already gone after one of these FBI lawyers who is, he's being criminally indicted. So there's a possibility that that person may face some jail time. I would say that it's probably more likely that you're going to get some convictions with no jail time. Okay. That happens a lot in the United States. A lot of people get convicted and don't go to jail at all. Okay. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some of that. But we'll ultimately find out. And we still don't know everything that Durham has. This is just the Inspector General report. So Durham is the actual criminal probe in all of it. And if Durham comes out with some stuff that, he seems to be indicating that there's some really serious offenders here. And if he's got names and he's got specific instances with specific evidence of people breaking the law, I would expect him to be charged with crimes. Now, whether or not that leads to a plea deal where it's a misdemeanor and you resign or what have you, I don't know. But I'm not expecting people to actually go into prison, okay? There might be some convictions, might be some charges, but as far as prison is concerned, I'm not convinced yet. I hope I'm wrong, because a lot of these people need to go to prison. They really do. But I don't know that that's actually going to happen. 574-2595, 95.3. That is 2595953. Got more coming up. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
This is Michiana's breaking news and weather station, MNC.
God, just can't get in it. Southwest Vision. I was just gonna ask you. I felt like I was missing something. Well, I mean, I have more spaces to do it now too, so I don't have to worry about the top and the bottom of the hour.
Michiana's News Channel. Would you like to talk to Casey? Can I ask what you're calling about, please?
The Better Business Bureau of Northern Indiana says scammers are starting to take advantage of the online rental home and vacation rental market, with nearly half of shoppers
Moving on.
providing a fake listing in a 2018 study. In many cases, the scammers will only communicate via text message and have excuses for not being able to meet the victim for a tour of the property. The average loss in the scam is about $400, but some have lost $1,000 or more. So if you're looking into online listings, do as much research as possible to make sure that it's not too good to be true. That's
Unfortunately, sir, we moved on from that talk, and I can't put you through to him. But you can call us Friday at 4 o'clock during open lines, and you can talk to him then. Yeah, you too.
I love how they have to tell you everything.
I don't. I'm not gonna have a conversation with you. That's not my job.
Well, then they pop on and they go, as I was telling your call screener. Like, I didn't hear what you told him. I didn't hear anything. What are you talking about? Oh, yeah. Yeah, and Durham might very well be trying to flip people. Who knows?
Your home comfort experts, heating specialists, first 24 Clouds break this evening. It will be cold tonight. Lows in the mid-teens. On Thursday after the cold start, mostly cloudy with a high around 40, dropping back into the low 30s Thursday night. Back to 40 Friday afternoon.
Yeah, and again, the report is early on, so I don't know. And it comes from CNN, so who knows if it's entirely accurate. So we'll wait and see. We'll see what the Weinstein thing's about.
Someone's trying to break into my home. Who wants to break the front door? I'm going to find the authorities. I'll stay alive with you until they arrive. What can that do?
Sun Services is your local independent American state heating and air conditioning dealer. Here's Carter Brown Terrell talking about the public in-house trade. The labor shortage in trades has been an ongoing discussion. First Wednesday of the month, we're open the public our in-house training. 5 to 6, we do the classroom style training, and then 6 to 7, feed you. Anyone that's curious, may have to do the power drop, let them dip their toes in and do some hands-on stuff. Give Sun Services a call today. Your trusted, independent, American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer. Fox Business Report, powered by Oak Creek Experts, building heating and cooling. Keep your hardworking furnace running smooth with the 2 to Dell. Call 255-4600.
I'm Maria Martiramo, and this is the Fox Business Report. Major averages closing in the green after the Fed announced it was leaving its benchmark interest rate unchanged in a range of 1.5% and 1.75%. It signals that it expects to keep low rates steady through next year. Among the Dow winners today, Apple, Disney, and United Technologies. The Dow decliners, Boeing, Home Depot, and Chevron. The Dow rising 29 points, the Nasdaq up 48, S&P up. One of the Dow laggards today, Home Depot. It shares price around 2% after.
Isn't it funny, Alex? Because I haven't changed the tags because the system is different, and usually I'm just running out of time to change them, but they're still relevant every time. That's why I really didn't stress about going back, because they do all seem to be relevant every day. So, Instagram is working fine for me earlier.
CEO of Quicken Loans. Quicken Loans is celebrating our best quarter ever, and now we're celebrating some of the lowest refinancing rates ever. Rates have dropped so much that many Americans can reduce their rate. You may be able to save money on your monthly rate today on a 30-year fixed rate mortgage is 3.99%. APR 4.18%. Call us at 800 or go to rocketmortgage.com to learn more. Rates subject to change.
I've put a lot of puzzles together. We all have. Isn't it frustrating getting to the end only to realize you're missing pieces and that the puzzle will never look right?
That damn puzzle.
Hurting and in pain, worried about surgery, the answers to your health problems feel the same way. I'm Dr.
Isn't it frustrating when you do a puzzle and you're missing pieces, though, Joe? Isn't it frustrating?
People just like you put all their pieces together again. You can feel better again. At Warren Chiropractic, we have all the pieces. Acupuncture, massage therapy, decompression, physical therapy,
Prove it.
exercise, and weight loss.
I'll go to Instagram right now, see what's happening.
Your health puzzle. We want
Harvey Weinstein and accusers reach a tentative $25 million deal.
when you're suffering from headaches, disc problems, sciatica, back or neck pain. Complete care for a complete you at Warren Chiropractic in Osceola. Call us today at 679-0100.
Message and data rates may apply. Earning your degree from one of the top business schools in the country might sound impossible to fit
All right,
into
let's
your
go to
workload.
IG.
But
Hold
what
up.
if there were a business degree that advanced your career skills and gave you access to world-renowned faculty, leaders, and mentors? All
Yeah,
on your
IG's working
schedule?
for me.
One that opened doors to some of the most influential CEOs, tech companies, law firms, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders. And what if you could earn that degree in as little as 16 months, 100% online? Find out more. Text DRIVE to 79645. Start on the path to earning your MBA or Business Analytics Master's degree online from the W.P. Carey School of Business at Arizona State University today. Learn more about the graduate programs from the top-ranked W.P. Carey School of Business at Arizona State University, offered 100% online. Text DRIVE to 79645. That's DRIVE to 79645.
From the Final Phase Electric Studios. From the first step to the final phase.
All right, here we go.
Erickson.
And good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. President's holding his press conference. He's signing that executive order, which targets anti-Semitism and will allow some additional protections for the Jewish population in the United States. And of course, he was attacked for being anti-Semitic earlier, but we'll see. All right. So anyway, I've had an issue with my eyes for many years. I assumed I had dry eyes, but I wasn't sure. Now, dry eyes is one of those things that affects millions of people, and millions more go undiagnosed. And it's it affects you quite a bit, right? So you've got irritation, you've got your eyes being dry, scratchy, itchy. It affects your vision, especially your night vision. So if you've been struggling to see things at night, you might very well have dry eyes. If you got excessively watery eyes, I know this sounds counterintuitive. If you have excessively watering eyes, you might actually have dry eyes. And Southwest Vision Center can help you with this. And they're actually dry eye experts. And when I went in, did my dry eye test here recently, we found out that I was producing the oils to lubricate my eyes, but it was of low quality. So I'm on a supplement now. I'm on some eye drops now. My eyes feel much better. They hurt way less than they used to. And especially at night, I've noticed that it's easier for me to focus on things and be able to drive around. I've never really had a big issue driving at night, but my wife does. She's got dry eyes as well. So I've got these supplements that I'm taking that help with the natural oil production, and also these drops, which are really, really helping me. They're fantastic people over there. They're totally professional. And here's the thing, they're great with kids. And we often, I think, neglect our kids' vision. It's so important. They're in school. They've got to be able to see things. My oldest daughter was recently diagnosed in school, if you will, as needing glasses. And turns out she doesn't. She's got 20/20 vision. She's good because we took them to Southwest Vision Center, and Southwest Vision Center was able to properly ascertain her vision. My wife and I have both gotten our prescriptions over there. My wife has some special glasses that she uses to drive around at night, which help her with contrast and things like that. They're treating my dry eyes. I just absolutely love them over there. Fantastic people. If you need glasses, contacts, if you want to be seen for dry eye, stigmatism, any of that stuff, or if you're just looking for a routine exam, Southwest Vision Center is the only place that I recommend that you go. Go to swvisioncenter.com. They got 3 locations near you. swvisioncenter.com. When you go into Southwest Vision Center, please let them know that I sent you. All right, 574-2595, 95.3. That's 2595-953. I ran into this. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people in the media won't tell you what people in the media do, okay? And I do. And here's the reason why. People have asked me sometimes why I say the things that I say. Nobody else says it. One, this is probably why I'm not really invited to company events all that much. I don't care about making friends. I really don't. If it happens, awesome. But I'm not going to go out of my way to lie to people or hide things in order to be friends. I don't care enough about it. All right. There are people in this industry who just want to be friends with everybody, especially if those people happen to be famous or well known, whether they are, celebrities nationwide, internationally, or just locally. It doesn't really matter. There are people who just want to make friends and they want to be able to hobnob with the stars, if you will. Okay. That's not me. I don't care about that. I'm from Vegas. I know plenty of celebrities. Okay. Most of them suck. They're not great people for the most part. Some of them are amazing, but they're just people. Okay. They're just people. So when I tell you that members of the media genuinely get excited when a tragedy happens, members of the media will run out there and they will tell you, that's absolutely not true. It's 100% not true. Because they can't go out there and go, yeah, it's true. Because they lose credibility. They open themselves up to attack. And again, it's not that they're wishing for people to get hurt. It's just that that's their moment to shine. Okay? That's their moment. That's where they're going to get their clicks. That's where they're going to get their name out there. That's where they're going to get their interviews and their opportunities materialized. That's when all of that happens, is when there's a horrible tragedy and they can exploit it for their professional gain. Okay? They won't admit that to you, but that is the reality for literally every newsroom I have ever been in radio, print, or television. That has been the reality. When tragedy strikes, that is your chance to shine. That is your moment. It's as if the curtain had been lifted and you're now on the stage. Okay? They won't admit it to you. And they can't really, because they'll catch a ton of flack, and probably justifiably so. They'll catch a ton of flack for telling everybody that that's the reality. So you'll run around and you'll see this at newsrooms everywhere. They will pretend, they will lie to you, they will tell you that tragedy is not something that they want to cover or look forward to. It's not true. Doesn't mean that they wish ill on people. Doesn't mean that they go to bed at night praying for people to die so they can cover it the next day. But they will absolutely get excited when a tragedy happens because it gives them something to do and gives them opportunities to shine. Okay? Here's another thing. Do you remember when House of Cards was first getting going, before you found out that Kevin Spacey was a total jerk and sexually harassing a ton of people? When season 1 happened, I had a ton of people ask me questions about this because obviously I'm in the media and I've covered politics for a long time. Are the narratives in House of Cards about reporters sleeping with people to get information, is that true? And I said 100% yes. House of Cards, first couple of seasons, more accurate than anybody wants to admit in our country. Far more accurate, okay? Now, I'm not saying that a bunch of politicians are running around killing people and having people executed and disappeared and things like that. But I can tell you from personal knowledge, not hearsay, personal knowledge, a lot of politicians sleep with journalists. And a lot of journalists offer themselves up to those politicians. I know a lot of politicians who pay for apartments for individuals to live in. Some of those people happen to be journalists and reporters. This is a well-known thing in our industry, okay? Now, we've got a new movie out there, Richard Jewell, which is done by Clint Eastwood. This is all about Richard Jewell, who was falsely accused of being the Olympic bomber when, in fact, he was a hero, okay? In that movie, the female reporter is portrayed as trading sexual favors for information. And everybody in the media is really upset about that portrayal. And I'm going to talk about that coming up because I think it's important that people actually get perspective from somebody who's in the industry and really doesn't care about keeping the industry secrets, to be perfectly honest with you. Because I know people locally who, frankly, are a little inappropriate with their sexual behaviors. Some of it's teasing and flirting. Some of it's more than that. We'll talk about this coming up. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Get breaking news text alerts direct to your smartphone. Details at 953mnc.com. Casey Hendrickson.
News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Your breaking news and weather station.
Weather served up by Prime Table Restaurant in Niles. Does your family or group meet regularly for breakfast, lunch, or dinner? Just call the Prime Table to reserve tables for your next gathering.
Now, your home comfort experts, heating specialists, forecast.
The forecast is much milder as we end the week and pretty quiet through the weekend. Warmer by Thursday afternoon, mostly cloudy with a high of 40. Dropping into the mid-30s again Thursday night. Back to 40 Friday,
The Clinton documentary, right?
Saturday might see a chance of some light rain.
Honestly, these drops that I'm on for my eyes are a million times better than any of the drops I've ever used. They're awesome. They're over the counter though, but they are. She recommends that I use them at night, and I'm only using the drops because I didn't want the gel, because I don't like putting crap in my eyes. And when you put the gel in your eyes, you won't be able to see for a long time. So, but she recommends that I do that because I sleep on my side and my stomach, which obviously causes rubbing and irritation on the eyes. So, did Pete put me up in an apartment? Yeah, that's why I suddenly had to move this last year. So, God, what's the drops that I use? I forget the name of it. It starts with an R, but it's not Rotos. And they were, honestly, they were $9, and they were worth every damn penny.
What happens when you want to test drive the car first? And what happens if you have a question you want a live local expert to answer? The solution is Lock Money Fast Track from the Lock Money Auto Group. Lock Money Fast Track takes you from shopping to driving 100% online at your convenience. You fuel over 700 new or used vehicles, can apply for financing and instant approval, trade your current vehicle, and secure your deposit. And simply schedule a time for your
Was it refresh? I don't know if it's refresh.
Want to test drive the car first? No problem.
Maybe it's a refresh. It doesn't sound right. Anyway, they're phenomenal. But they were like $9, and I was like, yeah. What's the gel? She wants me to use the gel, and I just didn't want to do it. It might be refresh, folks.
With the holidays coming up,
Refresh drops, but they're great.
Frustrating, isn't it? You want to do something, but maybe it's been a while since you saw a dentist. If you know Afton is the most referred.
Yeah, that's weird, man. My IG is working just fine. And I'll log back in just to check.
Listen to your concerns and help find the right treatment for you so you look better and feel better about yourself. There are many cosmetic options out there. For crooked teeth, there are regular braces and Invisalign. For missing or damaged teeth, there are crowns, veneers, dental implants, and more. At Afton, we offer complete dental care at one convenient location with easy payment terms and 0% financing for those who qualify. Look good for your holiday gatherings and family photos. Call Afton on Douglas Road in Mishawaka today at 277-2220 or visit our website at afton.com.
Chances are you can remember your best decisions. Buying that car, having a child, getting away from the rat race, if only for a little while. Now you can add another decision to that list. Moving to a Trilogy Senior Living Community. When you make the move to a Trilogy Senior Living Community, you'll feel good about your decision. We guarantee it. Visit trilogyhs.com to find a community near you.
Here it is,
Okay.
95.3 MNC, securing your financial future each and every Saturday morning with wise money with Corhorn Financial Group. Financial advisors Kevin Corhorn, Mike Bernard, and Josh Gregory are here to talk about the latest money news and how it affects your pocketbook, savings account, or retirement plan.
Hi, this is Mike from Wise Money with Portland Financial Group. Should you trade
All right, Warren, I sent you a response to the laser question you had.
to avoid this Saturday? This is Saturday at 9 on 95.3 MNC and WiseMoneyRadio.com.
We're your home for the Rush Limbaugh Show. Weekday afternoons, noon to 3, exclusively on News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. Your breaking news and weather station.
Here we go.
And good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. I'm your host, Casey Hendrickson. Phone number 574-2595, 95.3. The Prime Table family is out there by the window saying hello. All right. I got to talk to you about all natural CBD lotion. This is phenomenal stuff. The website, once again, is allnaturalcbd.org. You can use coupon code KC10. And this stuff is great. Again, 500 milligrams. Well, you can get the 252, but I recommend just get the 500. 500 milligrams of full spectrum CBD. Okay, this is what you want in a CBD product. You want full spectrum. You do not want isolate. You want full spectrum. So if you go to allnaturalcbd.org, you click on the lotion. They have lavender. They have unscented. This is a 4-ounce bottle. It will last you several months under normal use. Okay. Multiple people in this building use it on a regular basis. Relatives use it on a regular basis. I had a coworker the other day say that their relative used it when nothing else worked. They were avoiding using prescription pain medication, and nothing else was working. This worked for them. So they absolutely love it. They swear by it. The product just works, okay? There's a reason I endorse it, and here's the best part. It's not going to break your bank to even try it, and you're going to be amazed at the results. It's only $19.99 for the 500 milligrams. It's $14.99 for the 250 milligrams. And again, you go to allnaturalcbd.org. They have tons of other products up there, including the dog biscuits. Yes, CBD for dogs is a thing. They also have a holiday special where you can get a 3-pack from just $39.99. So you can actually end up saving about $10 if you buy 3 bottles. Perfect gift for everybody. You can also check out the bath bombs. You can check out the wellness shots. They have some CBD vaping solutions as well. So go check them out, allnaturalcbd.org. Use coupon code KC10 to save 10%, or you can go to any local eSigWorks location and use that same coupon code KC10 to save yourself some ducats. All right, 574-25-95-95.3. That is 2595-953. All right, here's the deal. Richard Jewell. Okay, new movie, Clint Eastwood. It's about Richard Jewell, who's falsely accused of being the Olympic bomber. Media figures are outraged over the upcoming Clint Eastwood film, Richard Jewell, blasting its negative portrayal of the journalists that upended the title character's life in 1996. Reviewers and reporters are slamming the film as misogynistic and even Trumpian, while the Atlanta Journal-Constitution sent a letter demanding the movie include a disclaimer stating that its portrayal of former police reporter Kathy Scruggs reportedly trading sexual favors for a story on Jewell is false. Now, Scruggs passed away. Okay, we can't ask her about that. I want to make this crystal clear. I have no idea if she did or not. No clue. What I can tell you is it happens with regularity in this business. Okay, I know. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if I know of a female reporter who doesn't at least flirt a little bit. I suppose there are some out there, and if you are one of them who listens to this program and you don't do that, I apologize. But most of the females that I've encountered who do reporting and covering and that sort of, they at least flirt a little bit. Yeah, look, guys like being around nice-looking women. It's shocking news, right, Joe? Guys like being around nice-looking women, okay? So a lot of these reporters, again, they're on TV, so a lot of them are very attractive, and they use that to their advantage. That shouldn't be anything that is considered sexist or inappropriate. Get the story. Now, I know guys that do this as well also. In fact, knew a couple of people in the Vegas market who would trade sexual favors with prominent, powerful women to get these stories. That usually was reactive. In other words, the woman showed interest in the male reporter first, and he said, you know what? Why not? I'm going to get the scoop. Whereas, generally speaking, Some of these women will initiate if they're a reporter. Again, this isn't universal, okay? But it happens with regularity. And when I'm sitting here looking at some of the tweets coming out from members of the media pretending that this never happens, and any suggestion that females in the news media would use their bodies or their looks to go ahead and gain information, that somehow that is, oh, you can't claim that. That's misogynistic. It happens all the time. And we all know it happens. You see it. You literally see it. There are editors out there who manage these relationships on behalf of, not like pimps or anything like that, but they will know that the relationship is a little bit more than just, I have a source, and they will make sure that the individual, the reporter, is safe when they do this. So this is a well-known thing in our industry. Do not let anybody pretend to you that women don't do this. And again, men do it to much smaller scale. Don't pretend that this doesn't happen, okay? It absolutely happens. Like I said, all the time with regularity. I do not know if Scruggs, who is the reporter in question here, used to work for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. I do not know if the portrayal of her in this movie is accurate with that regard, okay? I don't know. I don't know enough about her, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time looking her up to track down whether or not she was offering FBI agents, flirtatious behavior or sexual favors in order to get information or insight. Okay, I don't know if that happened. Sometimes, by the way, sometimes this ends up happening in a totally organic and natural way and has nothing to do with, I'm a reporter and I'm going to go find some guy and get juice out of him. Sometimes it's just you happen to meet somebody. You're at events. Somebody asked you out to dinner. Now you have a relationship. And because you're in the relationship, you're privy to information because they want to help out somebody that they're in a relationship with. It happens that way a lot as well, which isn't nefarious, okay? But there also shouldn't be anything considered wrong with this. And they're trying to say it's misogynistic and that sort of stuff. It's not, okay? Use whatever tools you have to get the story. As long as the story is accurate and you report it fairly, you shouldn't have any issues with it. But it does happen with tremendous regularity. And the idea that all of these sanctimonious members of the media are pretending that it doesn't is flipping hysterical to all of us who are in the press and know it happens all the time. We got more coming up. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
WTRC FM.
And HD1 and HD3.
Niles, South Bend, Elkhart.
The Inspector General for the Justice Department says agencies issued reason to launch the Russia investigation into potential contact between the Trump campaign and Russell Horowitz told a Senate panel there was no evidence he saw political bias in that decision. But we are deeply concerned that so many basic and fundamental errors were made by three separate investigative teams on one of the most sensitive FBI investigations. Horowitz cited serious errors.
All right. 100%. You take the Mike Pence approach, you will be just fine. Yeah.
The family suing Royal Caribbean.
Yeah. They finally made the lawsuit official.
I didn't know if that was old news or not.
Well, I mean,
It's kind of, as we heard about it.
Yeah.
It's official.
Keep your car happy and clean this holiday season with Parkwood Auto Spa's Buy 5, Get 3 discount books. Good at both of their locations in South Bend and Mishawaka. Come as you are. Stay in your car.
That's funny, Alex.
Hi, I'm Jay Farmer, CEO of Quicken Loans, America's largest mortgage lender. Let's talk credit card debt for a minute. If you feel you're carrying too much of it, you're not alone. The average household in the U.S. carries over $8,000 in credit card debt. Good news, with a cash-out refinance from Quicken Loans, you can quickly and easily put some of the equity in your home to good use by paying off a lot of that high interest.
Let's talk about the governor.
Way to take cash out is with our 30-year fixed rate mortgage. The rate today on a 30-year fixed rate mortgage is 3.99%. APR 4.18%. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN to learn how taking cash out with a 30-year fixed mortgage might be the right solution for you. And for a record 9 years in a row, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com for J.D. Power award information.
Oh, shocker. Buttigieg accused all Trump supporters of being racist again. No big shocker there. All right, here we go.
First step to the final phase. Industrial and commercial electrical done right. This is Casey Hendrickson on News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel, your breaking news and weather station.
And good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. Once again, I'm your host, Casey Hendrickson. Phone number, 574-25-95-95.3. That is 2595-953. You can also send a text message to 45364. Please put MNC at the beginning of that message. Oh, okay. I saw a weird tweet, sorry, from somebody I don't follow, and I didn't see the promoted tag on it. So anyway, the governor, yeah, that's right. He wants to ban cell phones while driving. Here we're back at this thing. Wants to raise the smoking age as well. Governor Eric Holcomb's legislative agenda focuses largely on health care and education, but there were some surprises, such as banning cell phone use while driving. Why is that a surprise? He's kind of hinted at this before. I don't know why that would be a surprise. The governor announced the agenda today, well, that's yesterday, in a 40-minute presentation in the Terre Haute Chamber of Commerce. In the past couple of years, he's been traveling the state to release his priorities, giving the speech last year in Zionsville. So he wants to ban phone use while driving. So I wanted to get your thoughts on this. 574-25-95-95.3. That is 2595-953. Now, Indiana law currently bans texting, but not any other phone use, such as posting or messaging on social media sites like Facebook or Twitter. He did say that the risk of a crash more than triples when driving while using a device, and then noted that 20 states have already banned their use while driving. Quote, when you're texting, texting can kill. That's not an overstatement. We just know that folks who are distracted on our highways and back roads are increasing accidents about 3.5 times. So that's what the governor was saying. So what are your thoughts on this? 574-25-95-95.3. That is 2595-953. Again, I have questions about how it's implemented, as I always do, because politicians don't ever really seem to think about that, especially with the service industry, who requires the use of these phones on a regular basis. Afterward, he told reporters that he thinks police will be able to enforce the ban despite difficulty that they've had in enforcing the ban on texting. So he says, you try. When you're driving down the road, you can count more than not folks who are distracted. I just cringe. And when I'm not driving, then when I look at someone, not look up for 4 or 5 seconds. There's also, again, pretty interesting research that places that ban texting while driving tend to have an increase in texting while driving accidents. Now, the reason for that tends to be that they're hiding the phone. They're still texting while driving, but they're hiding the phone. So instead of, for those of you on the live stream watching on YouTube and Twitch right now, instead of having your phone like this, where you can still see the road, you're now hiding it down here because you don't want the police to see it, okay? So right now, again, texting while driving in Indiana is banned. Doing other things on your phone, not banned. He wants it to be a universal ban. State Police Superintendent Doug Carter, who traveled with the governor to the chamber event, told Indy Star that he thinks a wider ban will be easier to enforce than the current law against texting. Now, he said, it's difficult to prove that someone using a phone while driving is specifically texting since the law has passed. It's become more common for people to use social media or stream movies and shows on their devices as technology has evolved. Like I said, he noted that many devices can now be used hand-free. Pretty much any device can be used hands-free. It's just whether or not somebody wants to actually do it, which would be legal under the proposed law. So hands-free would be legal. So I can sit there and go, hey, Google, send Joe a text that I'm not coming in today. And it would do that. Or Joe could, do his thing. Okay, Google, let Casey know that I'm going to be late because I got stuck behind a train. So that sort of stuff would still be okay according to the proposal. Now, in addition, and then we'll get to the phone lines here in just a second. In addition to that, Holcomb said that too many high school and middle school teens have started vaping, especially, quote, I thought it was pretty cool when I was in middle school sneaking gum, he joked. Okay, boomer, whatever. So anyway, like key lawmakers, Holcomb, that was a funny application of the boomer thing. Holcomb wants to raise the age to purchase any tobacco product, including cigarettes and vaping products. And again, vaping products are not tobacco products. Okay? Crystal clear that we have to make that fact known. He wants to raise it from 18 to 21 years old. He also proposes to increase fines for retailers who sell such products to underage individuals. Now, I just want to ask a very simple question on this, okay? And I know I'm not going to get an answer, but I want to ask the question anyway. What about the vaping products that don't have any nicotine in it? Because if this is about nicotine, what about the products that don't have any nicotine in it? Does that count? Still going to go and raise that to 21 as well? Anyway, 574-2595, 95.3. To the phone lines we go. Steve, welcome to the program.
How you doing?
Doing well. What's up?
I see it every day, these people texting while they're driving, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if it's banned, where you got to wear earbuds, and like my son has a phone that he can voice text, and it will print it out on a screen, and it sends it to somebody, da-da-da-da. He's got one of those high-tech phones. I still use a flip phone of choice.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen too many accidents because of the texting and driving. The news media fails to report, like yesterday out here on 120, where a semi hauling hydrochloric acid ran off the road and hit two trees. Okay, lost its load close to the St. Joe River. I'll be willing to bet $100 that guy was texting.
Think so?
I see semi drivers doing it all the time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe he wasn't texting. Maybe he was doing one of the other things they say they're doing. He's sending messages, or he's posting on social media, or he's looking at memes, or what have you.
Plain and simple. I used to work for a huge auto parts company, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Parts store. Starts with a 0. On all their delivery trucks, it says cell phones are banned. I seen 2 people get fired because somebody called in and said they were texting on their phones. And so they said, okay, for us not to fire you, show me your phone and show me you weren't texting. And they went through the screen and it pulled up with the time and everything.
Mm-hmm.
They got fired.
Well, I mean, you violated the policy. There you go.
So,
So you support the governor on this, then?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Now, what about the smoking? What about the smoking age thing?
I think they need to raise it to 21 myself.
Okay. What about everything else that you're considered an adult at 18 for?
I'm not sure about everything else. The smoking and the cell phone caught my attention real quick here.
Well, the reason I'm asking about the smoking thing is why raise it to 21 for that, especially when you're talking about stuff that doesn't have nicotine in it? Why do it for that, but not do it for voting?
Well, this is true. You do have a valid point there.
Okay. All right, fair enough. I'm just figured I'd ask while I had you on the line. All right, Steve, appreciate it.
So maybe I might be on the fence on that.
Okay.
All right. The cell phone usage.
You're all on board.
There's too many dumbasses out here. Excuse my French. That can't get
I
off
don't think
that
that's
phone.
French, though. But yeah. All right, Steve. Appreciate it. All right, you take care. 574-25-95-95-3. Craig, welcome to the program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Casey.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have the problem I have is I don't know why you can't drive. Anybody can drive and talk on the phone at the same time. But they always say the number one reason for accidents is because of people eating, but you don't hear them getting rid of fast food places. So I always say, I don't understand that.
I've been raising this point too. And again, I'm just doing this to be a jerk, but I want people to understand something. The number one cause of distracted driving is your kids. Number one cause.
Yeah.
And so obviously you can't ban kids being in the car. So their excuse is, well, we're going to do what we can outside of all of it. I'm like, all right, but let's, can we just, look, it's an issue with people using their phone. But when I was driving professionally, being able to talk on the phone while I was driving was as easy as talking to somebody sitting next to me in the vehicle, which obviously isn't banned. So I don't understand it either. I don't know why people zone out. No. I don't know if I'm just an awesome freak of nature and I'm just super better than everybody else. I don't know. But for some reason, people tend to zone out on this thing and they focus on the phone instead of the road. I don't know why that is.
Because, like you said, it's the same thing as talking to the person next to you.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
I don't either. Now, hands-free is all allowed. So you can still text people. You just can't actually have the phone in your hand. So you've got to do this all with voice commands. So you can still text people. And it's just going to be voice commands.
When you're texting, you have to look at your phone.
Well, your phone can read it. Your phone can read it to you, is what they can do. Which is annoying as all get up, by the way. But yeah, so every time you get a text, it'll be like, hey, so-and-so would like to invite you to so-and-so's party, and you can text them back. And you just have to do it all with hands-free devices and that sort of stuff. So,
yep.
All right. I appreciate it. Thank you much. You take care. All right. We got more of your phone calls on this. Again, 2 issues. One, Governor Holcomb wants to get rid of you having the cell phone in your hand in your vehicle. Okay. Hands-free devices not covered. So as long as you're not touching it, you can still make phone calls. You can still post to social media. You can still go ahead and take a look at memes and stuff like that, I guess, which wouldn't be advisable. And you can text and that sort of stuff. You just can't have the phone in your hand. Hands-free would be A-OK. Voice command would be A-OK. The other issue is he wants to go ahead and raise the smoking age to 21, which includes vaping products, including products that don't have nicotine. So those are interesting questions for you to go ahead and answer on the program today. 574-25-95-95-3. We'll take your calls coming up. Newstalk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Casey Hendrickson.
News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Your breaking news and weather station.
Your cell phone's down here too.
26 years of exceptional food, tremendous service, and great people. Visit Prime Table today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
I was gonna talk to you yesterday, but things happened. I was gonna come up with you today. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can do that. Sure. Okay. Bye-bye. Michiana's news channel. Would you like to talk to Casey? Mm-hmm. Are you calling about the Governor Holcomb cell phone ban thing and all right, can I get your first name, please? All right, I'll try to get you on there.
Pick an age and stick to it, Alex says. Didn't work for my dad. Well, didn't work for Warren's talking about, regulating the age doesn't work. Let's see.
We've all been there before. Equipment malfunction can wreck your plans.
Hands-free is another way for evil corporations to spy on us. You do have to turn on some interesting features to be able to do that.
Excellence found at Final Phase Electric.
Let us help you from the start. Upgrade or repair your current electrical systems, or get ahead of the game with a professional assessment that grows into a full-scale preventative maintenance schedule. Using advanced tools like thermal imaging cameras can help us identify issues that haven't even popped up yet. We even provide 24-hour emergency service. Ask yourself, has my business grown beyond our current resources? Are we pushing our electrical setup too hard and running the risk of shutdowns? Does the lighting in my facility
Yeah, they know better. They won't go after fast food. They'll go after the cell phones. All right. Let's see.
service upgrades, energy-efficient lighting, and commercial solutions for every industry. Let us take the guesswork out of your project and help you sleep easy. Find us on Facebook or visit finalphaseelectric.net.
Of all the questions you get asked every day, this is one you shouldn't ignore. How much money in your 401k or IRA is actually yours? Not what its current value is, but how much of it will end up in your pockets, not the government's. Remember, you still might owe taxes on that money. And how about the tax efficiency? Are you overpaying, or are you keeping every dollar you're entitled to? Look, I know it's confusing, it's complicated, and it definitely isn't fun. That's why at Howard Bailey, we work with tax professionals to help make sure you aren't paying more in taxes than your fair share. It's your money. You deserve to know what's at stake, and you have the power to ensure your retirement accounts are paying you. Don't do the IRS any favors. Call our team at Howard Bailey today at 866-482-9559, 866-482-9559.
Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Howard Bailey Financial does not offer legal or tax advice. Please consult your appropriate professional regarding your individual services.
What do you need done on your house? The basement could be finished. The kitchen needs updated. Your deck is not the way you want it. Or maybe you just want an entirely new room added to your home. That's what we call Graver Customer Modeling. They come to your home with vision and experience that leads to some of the finest projects done in the area. Graver is a family name and it's put on every project they do. There are no corners to cut, just measured twice. Graver Customer Modeling works with higher-end vendors, materials, and craftsmen to complete truly custom projects. When you see your new addition in your mind and meet with the Graver team, you begin to see what custom really means. Whether you're restoring a 100-year-old farmhouse, creating your ultimate living space, or taking your kitchen to the next level, make it custom and make it a family decision. Follow the Graver family and Graver Customer Modeling. Online at gravercustomermodeling.com.
Message and data rates may apply. Earning your degree from one of the top business schools in the country might sound impossible to fit into your workload. But what if there were a business degree that advanced your career skills and gave you access to world-renowned faculty, leaders, and mentors all on your schedule? One that opened doors to some of the most influential CEOs, tech companies, law firms, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders. And what if you could earn that degree in as little as 16 months?
Sorry, I'm looking at some research, folks.
Online. Find out more. Text DRIVE to 79645. Start on the path to earning your MBA or Business Analytics Master's degree online from the W.P. Carey School of Business at Arizona State University today. Learn more about the graduate programs from the top-ranked W.P. Carey School of Business at Arizona State University, offered 100% online. Text DRIVE to 79645. That's DRIVE to 79645.
Welcome to Total Value RVing. RVing is the perfect way to explore this great country of ours and reconnect with family through what I like to call heads-up moments. That's better. These moments start at Total Value RV. Total Value RV is Indiana's #1 motorhome dealer. We have a huge selection of units for every budget, with no hidden fees. Come in and find out why it's better when you buy them where they go. Total Value RV, County Road 4 in Elko, just off exit 92. Coming to strangers.
Online at TotalValueRV.com.
For the rest of the week, we have traffic insights first thing in the morning. Brooklyn, Maine.
John City with the top stories too. On Michiana's Morning News, posting Thursday, wait and see.
And good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. Newstalk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, and of course, you look at the Center for Disease Control. Both of them say these are the top reasons for distracted driving. Number 9, other cell phone interaction. Number 8, eating. Number 7, adjusting the radio/climate controls, so playing with your dials. Number 6, smoking. Number 5, holding a cell phone. Number 4, talking, singing, dancing. Number 3, holding an object other than a cell phone like a pet. Number 2, talking on the cell phone. Number 1, interacting with a passenger. The data is from, it was released in 2017, covered 2015, 2016, by the way. All right, 574-25-95-95-3. There's some other proposals that the governor had. We'll get to those here in just a little bit. Bill, welcome to the program.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing well. So what do you think of the governor's proposals?
Well, I guess the one I wanted to comment on the most was that because I'm on the road a lot.
Okay.
Is the distracted driving.
Mm-hmm.
And, I just, I sit at stoplights and wait while the light turns green and people are looking down at their cell phones. And I can talk to a passenger in my car pretty easily without distracting my eyesight from watching through the windshield.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard to do that on a cell phone. I mean, it just distracts your eyes, takes them off the road much, much more than anything else that I can do, including, taking care of grandkids in the back seat. I can see them in my rearview mirror with a quick glance. But cell phones I'm just afraid one of these people is going to kill somebody that I love one of these days that's doing texting or distracted by looking down at their cell phone.
Now,
it's a terrible thing.
In some of the early research on this, what they ended up finding out is that the reason that the cell phone caused crashes increased was that now people were hiding it once they banned texting while driving instead of having it like on the dash or up front where they could have that peripheral vision on the windshield. Would you agree with that or no?
Well, yeah, I actually have one of those the little device that holds my cell phone on my console on my truck, and I like that a lot. But even that, I think, distracts my eyes, and I think hands-free obviously would be a huge plus. But I think really ultimately it's texting that pulls your eyes away from the road the longest.
Okay.
And if you can get the cell phone out of people's hands, it will help for the texting. But there probably isn't anybody out there that hasn't sat at a light, watched it turn green, and had somebody 2-3 cars up, is just sitting there looking down into their lap.
Well, sure, but they tell us that that's actually safe to do that because you're not supposed to go when the light turns green anyway. You're supposed to wait. I mean, there's an argument for everything. Yeah.
I mean, you see somebody that's moving around a little bit in their lane, you come up beside them and you look over. And the other thing, I don't mind mentioning, this might be controversial, but 9 times out of 10, it's a teenager, a 20-something, or a 30-something. I almost never run it, see somebody that looks like maybe they're in their 40s.
This is a
judgment call.
This is interesting, okay? Because I'm staring at the data from 2017. All right, cell phone use, distracted driving by these are the fatal crashes. Okay, 15 to 19, 6%. 20 to 29, by far the largest group, 23%, and then 30 to 39, the second largest group at 18%. Then 40 to 59 is 15%. So you're right on the 20s and the 30s. So between 20 and 39, that is the group most likely to dink around on their cell phone.
Yeah.
So interesting.
So going to the smoking thing, on the smoking issue, I do not smoke. Nobody in my family smokes. It's a horrible habit.
Sure.
I feel sorry for people that do. I've got one of my very best friends died, cigar smoker.
Mm-hmm.
He had tongue cancer the last 10 years of his life or so.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't hardly speak because so much of his tongue had been removed. It's
terrible. But my issue is, if you want to do a vice. We just need to have an age at which you're an adult. And once you're an adult, stop telling people that they can't do things because they're not adult enough.
It's pure. I'm so into freedom. I love your show. I'm into freedom. I think, but at the same time, it is just advice. Sorry about that.
All right. Take care. Appreciate it very much.
Bye.
It's look, on this issue, there's a lot. I'm sure the governor would say he's for freedom too, just not on this issue. Doug, welcome to the program.
Hi, Casey. Love your show.
Hi there.
Hey, I just want to tell you,
I got kind of mixed feelings on the cell phone issue.
Okay.
My big thing really is that, I think along the lines of you, Governor Holcomb, I think he would think he'd have a lot more fish to fry than, whether people are talking their phones or smoking or this or that. What I'm getting down to is that, I get really tired of the nanny state.
Okay.
Type thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And here's, I guess there's a part of it. He wants to do some good. He wants to save some lives. I get that. We've had a lot of people die from the cell phone thing. And like I said, even the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, they say talking to somebody next to you is as distracting, if not more, than having that cell phone around. So here's the thing that I always find interesting about this. I'm not saying that having your cell phone isn't distracting for many people, because it certainly is, and I see the same thing that everybody else is talking about. But why is it that we only go after that one issue, but not the other issues that cause distracted driving, which predate cell phone use?
Well, that's a good point, but what I'm saying is that, a lot of people really conservatively minded people are really tired of the government, any form of government, telling people how to live every aspect of their lives. And, I see Holcomb getting involved in stuff that, maybe it's a safety issue, but, I drive to work every day in a 40-mile-an-hour zone out here in the country, and I got guys in pickup trucks passing me at 80 mile an hour.
Well, yeah.
Well, and,
40 miles an hour is probably silly, but
80 mile an hour in a 40 zone. There's all kinds of ridiculous driving out there, and it's not necessarily due to whether I'm using a cell phone or smoking a cigarette or this or that.
Fair point. By the way, when you're talking about distracted driving fatality, cell phones account for about 14%. So that's according to the National Traffic Safety Highway Administration, whatever the heck they're called. So just based on the graph that I'm looking at right now. Now, that doesn't mean that it's not it's the number 2, cause, but it's 14% of all fatal car crashes. So I got to roll, man. I'm a little bit late. All right, Doug, appreciate it. Take care. Got more coming up. Newstalk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
This is Michiana's breaking news and weather station. MNC.
All right. So distraction affected crashes. All right,
They're not
so
gonna be able to take any more callers.
I've got a Probaco, right? Yeah, no, cut them loose.
Michiana's news channel. Would you like to talk to Casey? Unfortunately, sir, we don't have the time to take any more callers today. But you can call us Friday at 4 o'clock during open lines. You can call then. All right, thanks. You want me to drop them?
I would tell Dave, since he just got here, probably not going to get you on.
Okay.
I'm going to try to get the other two. But they have to be quick.
We just don't have the time to take any more callers other than the two that have been on for like the past 20 minutes. All right.
So if you are over 70 years old, you are more likely to be, and part of this is going to be your age, but you're more likely to be involved in a fatal distracted driving because of your cell phone crash than a 15 to 19-year-old.
Huh?
True story. 15 to 19-year-olds are the least likely demographic to be in a fatal cell phone involved distracted driving car crash.
You're nervous. You're not confident enough to spitting out your phone.
Or they know what they're doing. Or they're just young and they don't die. Whereas old people just die.
Yeah.
So, just throwing it out there.
Also, 15, 19-year-olds are also the most common to wear the frickin' seatbelt.
True. Very true.
The people who I don't know that wear seatbelt, I know that I have to be like, hey, put on your seatbelt. These are people that are a lot That's another part.
Right.
Can we cross-reference that demographic with the people who those accidents with seatbelts?
Probably, but I'm not.
I know. Can we do that?
Probably.
And then give us the survival rate? Yeah, probably.
Oh, wait. Correction. Those were total numbers of failure.
You want me to not bring Jim on, by the way?
No, we're just doing lazy. So, correction.
Michiana's news channel. If unfortunately we just don't have any more time to take callers other than the ones that we have on hold right now. We just have such a short time frame with Bill O'Reilly now that we just can't. All right, no problem. Michiana's news channel. Hello, how can I help you?
Holiday shopping is like being at a game show where you have to guess the gift that people want while wrestling 1,000 people for it. Oh, and that there's a time limit. And if you guessed it correctly, you're out cash. Wouldn't it be better to give them exactly what they want and you can pick it out while enjoying a delicious tapas meal and fine food? You bet it would. It's time to turn the table on giving you a gift card to Temper Grill. Right now, when you buy a $50 gift card, you get a bonus certificate for $10. And a $100 gift card gives you a $25.
Looking at a road atlas. Yeah, people 20 to 29 are the most likely to be involved in. That was the correction I had. Sorry, 20 to 29 most likely to be involved in a fatal accident while being distracted by a cell phone. Yeah, the 70 to 80-year-olds using the Atlas.
Unfortunately, sir, I can't put you through them as we just don't have the time for any more callers today. But you can call us Friday at 4 o'clock during local lines and take your call then. All right, thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Casey, what are your thoughts on Greta Thunberg being named the Time Person of the Year? Welcome to the club. I, too, was Time Person of the Year. Now she gets to join me with the esteem. Paula just joined in. Oh my God, catching some of the cell phone discussion. I'm here to say I was almost ran off of Cleveland twice by two different old ladies. What's up, Blue?
Hey, this is Jay Farmer, CEO of Quicken Loans. Quicken Loans is celebrating our best quarter ever, and now we're celebrating so much.
Your mom brought the Atlas? That's great.
It's 3.99% APR, 4.19%. Call us at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com to learn more. Rates subject to change. The 1.75% fee was discounted rate to call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender investors in 50 states and MLS under 30.
I got Perbaco, right?
You either had it in the break where I was taking calls, so I didn't see it.
I have.
You have it in your file. You have it.
I have Perbaco.
You do have Perbaco. What is it?